Coming up, the best goals in the FA Cup from the first round all the way to Wembley. We kick off with the first round, and the non-league teams were already registering upsets. Starting at Craven Cottage, where Hayes and Colin Day's free kick surprised third division Fulham.
Eric Nixon opting to throw, and there's quite a bit of space down that left side. This is Brannan. Irons coming up from midfield, shoots from a long range. Oh, and it's a great goal! Over the top to Morrissey. Placed by Mullen. Left foot cross, might come to Aldridge! Oh, Aldridge has scored that goal! His 300th in his Football League career, right at the start of the second half. Still a scramble. This is Martindale out to Morrissey. Oh, it's a great overhead kick. It's a wonderful goal. What a player. Goal number 25 of the season. Goal number 301 in his career, and have there been many better? The ball was always there for grabs. Runcorn hadn't cleared it, but that was terrific athleticism from John Aldridge, and really incisive. He knew exactly where the goal was.
On to the second round, and the giant killers were having to battle it out with each other. Hayes, in the stripes, couldn't stop Crawley. Grant Gallagher setting up Tim Hume for the first. And in the second half, Hayes was stranded as they pushed forward for the equaliser. Hume out to Gallagher, and he gratefully accepted the return to put the result beyond doubt. But the round's quickest scorers were at Bolton.
This is Scott Green for Bolton. 3 well forward is Burke. Oh, and he's put the other left back in trouble. Oh, and he scored! David Burke has scored for Bolton in the first minute. Oh! 30 seconds after the start, and we've got a goal. David Burke's first of the season, the former England Youth International. And what a goal. And it's the opposite number 3, Dean Richards, that he put in trouble. And the left foot shot drilled underneath Paul Tomlinson. So the second corner, and just 3 minutes gone. Trying to find Reeves. Brown was at the edge of the penalty area. Brown got it out, that's Phil Brown rather. Oh, and that's Mick Brown. And it's still in play. Reeves, 2-0. Oh, what a start, Bolton. 2-0, David Reeves. And that means that the partnership between him and Phyllis Kirk has now clocked up 100 goals. 3 minutes gone, and it was just tipped away from Tomlinson by Michael Brown. Tinian left-footed. Oh, it's in! What a great shot by Tinian! Well, it came from nothing from Brian Tinian. How did he do that? Well, doesn't that make up for the penalty saved in the first half? And I bet he's absolutely delighted.
If you were looking for a long shot in the Cup, Brentford were a good bet. Fullback Jamie Bates scoring from just inside the halfway line, leaving the Bournemouth goalkeeper Vince Bartram with every reason to look embarrassed. A shock result at 4th Division Maidstone. Phil Brown completing a neat 1-2 with Richard Hill to lead Kettering to victory. Farnborough also got the better of senior opposition, Simon Reed putting the non-league side on the right track. And Reed had a hand in the second. His cross met with a fine diving header from Mick Doherty. Now, it wouldn't be right to have a goals compilation without a player called Bull. This time, though, it's not Steve, but his brother Gary doing the honours for Barnet.
Here's Horton. Paul got there before Mason. Carter's in there, so is Bull here, and that's the goal for Barnet. And the man who scored it is Gary Bull, the player that all the big clubs have been watching, and that's the reason why. It's his 18th goal of the season, and he takes them like that most weeks. It was a good challenge on the far side by Gary Paul, the captain. Carter got in near post, it came to Bull, and that drive gave McCutcheon no chance after 36 minutes. Now this is good finishing, no matter what level you play at. Bull drove it perfectly.
You have a feeling here that a second goal by Barnet would kill the tie off. But in the Cup, you never know. Paul, and he's onside, it's Bull. And that's Wilson, and Carter, and 2-0 to Barnet. And Mark Carter confirms his reputation as one of the best goal scorers outside the top grade. Typical Carter goal, that. The ball is played in initially by Gary Paul, the Barnet captain. Then it's Gary Bull in the role of provider now. Back to Wilson, his shot perhaps a miscue, but there's Carter. And that ball has really split them again. It's Carter. Carter's shot. Oh, what a finish! And he's completed the hat-trick. And that's 4-0. And Barnet complete a most emphatic performance. There were spare men around, but when Carter got hold of that, he looked to his left, he had a player to his right, he didn't need either.
Getting the referee on your side's always handy. It certainly worked for York. They took full advantage of a fortunate deflection. Sean Reed setting up Joe McCarthy, he rounded it off with a splendid solo goal. But Tranmere had the last laugh, a solid build-up from the back. Ian Nolan to John Aldridge. His pass out to the wing, and Martindale's cross was met at the far post by Kenny Irons. Woking were eager to prove that their tremendous cup run of the year before had been no fluke. This time Yeovil were on the receiving end, George Friel scoring the first. In the second half, Derek Brown set up Friel for his second. And Friel, formerly of Reading, completed his hat-trick with a superb finish. Into the third round and enter the top clubs. But as Crystal Palace found out at Leicester, quite a few departed as soon as they came.
Mills to take. 5 on the far side. It's chipped up, and they've got a man in! And they've got the goal right at the finish, and it's Smith. No reaction at all on the face of Brian Little. You'd have thought that he'd just lost, rather than just won. An anonymous name becomes famous here. Smith is the man who gets the goal. Richard Smith, the 21-year-old, free kick taken by Gary Mills.
Third Division Hartlepool in yellow were also putting on a proud display at Portman Road. Paul Baker latching onto the early ball to give them the lead. But Ipswich replied with a similar move late in the second half. The build-up down the right, and Jason Dozell put away the centre. In the replay, Second Division Ipswich put together a flowing move to open the scoring. And again, it was Dozell who found the target from close range. Simon Milton opted for something a little more basic, but it worked just as well. Sheffield Wednesday found the plastic pitch at Preston to their liking. John Sheridan accepting the return to score with a looping header. Persistence worked wonders for Portsmouth's Darren Anderton. The young striker caused havoc in the Exeter defence. And Guy Whittingham provided the measured finish. Portsmouth thanked their substitutes for the second goal, Wigley with the back heel, while Warren Aspinall was on target with the header. Oldham also found it wise not to underestimate opponents from the lower ranks. Leyton Orient's Keith Day showed a deft touch from close range to convert Burnett's cross. And in the replay, the third division side buried Oldham.
12 minutes of the 90 left. Oh, again, 6s and 7s. It's too easy. Nugent's made it 2-1. And once again, well, whatever happened in the Oldham defence, they could have cleared it. They looked at each other. Nobody seemed sure of the responsibility. And Kevin Nugent couldn't believe his luck. Fleming missed it. Jobson seemed to leave it for Barrett. Barrett's clearance hit Nugent in the chest. Nugent danced around Jobson and he beat Hallworth. Oh, that's a poor back pass from Jobson. Yes, it's 4-2 and Oldham are guilty of throwing it away, aren't they? Nugent's second of the match, and Orient from the third division lead Oldham from the first by 4-2. What was Jobson thinking about?
It wasn't anticipated, but there was an epic on the cards at Burnley. Although it hardly looked on the cards when Mark Strallard broke through and his cross found Martin Chalk in the first minute. But Burnley, who finished 4th Division champions, secured a draw through Roger Ely in front of a crowd of 19,000. It should have been over in the second meeting, particularly after Mark Patterson's blast, a shot he'll remember for some time. But freezing fog took away his chance of being a hero, and the tie went to a second replay. This time there was no doubt. Paul Williams with the free kick. The result was finally settled by Ian Ormondroyd, but not without a helping hand from the Burnley goalkeeper. But the shock of the round was the exit of mighty Arsenal at 4th Division Wrexham.
Oh, mercy. Oh, he's run outside Sartori. Now, surely, yes! Alan Smith saves Arsenal's blushes with 1 minute to go to half-time. You'd have to say it's a goal that Arsenal have threatened and which they certainly deserve for the number of chances they've created. And maybe if you want to be hypercritical, they ought to have had more. But again, it was good football by Merson. Smith at full stretch, and Arsenal ahead by 1-0. Now, 11 is Phillips, 5 there is the captain, Mickey Thomas. It's Thomas who takes it. Oh, what a goal, Mickey Thomas! He's done it, the magic little man at the venerable age of 37 has produced a sensational goal. And that has lit the fires. Oh, could you imagine a free kick struck sweeter than that and at a more important time? Seaman had no chance, it was right up into that top corner. He hit it right through the gap. Six minutes left. Watkin. Oh, he scored! Steve Watkin has got a goal! And Arsenal face humiliation. 2 goals from Wrexham in the space of 2 minutes. And suddenly Arsenal's world is falling around their ears. It was Adams who missed his clearance. Watkin reacted quickest.
Cambridge have become famous for their Route 1 tactics, so Coventry really shouldn't have been surprised by Dion Dublin's strike, especially as he was permitted 2 attempts to find the target. Nothing too fancy either about Wimbledon's John Fashanu, but he could be excused against Bristol City after going without a goal for more than 2 months. No excuses though for Wimbledon's Warren Barton. he showed a predatory instinct in front of his own net. Mind you, it was still pretty spectacular. It was Bristol City who went through in the replay, Andy May firing the winner in front of Wimbledon's meagre crowd. The cup holders, Spurs, soon lost their grip on the title, and in a fairly bizarre fashion.
And McGrath, oh, it's on the line, and York making absolutely sure, and Aston Villa are in front. Eric Torsbeck goes towards the ball here. There may have been a flick on that confused him. It went through his hands. Well, whether York got a touch or whether it finally went in off Paul Allen, it looks as though it's Paul Allen, really.
Nottingham Forest, the beaten finalists, got off to an unsteady start in their cup campaign. It's the domestic competition that has eluded manager Brian Clough, but his son Nigel could give his dad a reason to smile. He scored the winner. Notts County, in the stripes of course, were too good for Wigan. A fine move completed by Tommy Johnson. County's second was pure class from Phil Turner, his chip leaving the Wigan defence static. QPR were flying high after a 4-1 league win at Manchester United, but Southampton clipped their wings, Steve Woods heading the first. And Matthew Letizier's wonderful shot wrapped up the victory. You just couldn't keep Leeds and Manchester United apart. The top two teams in the country met at Elland Road for the third time in as many weeks.
Sterling makes a run on the right. A little indecisive at the end of the run, the England player. Now Giggs, and he's got Hughes up. The early ball might find him. Speed getting back. Hughes! The first time there has been space for Giggs. The first time there has been space for Hughes, and against the run of play in the first half, Manchester United have the lead.
The wonderful cross by Ryan Giggs. It looked as if he pushed himself too wide, but he knew exactly where Mark Hughes had drifted, cleared the two Leeds players. Good downward header.
Everton took care of Southend, but only by a single goal. John Ebrell, the creator, Peter Beardsley showing he hadn't lost his scoring touch since moving from Liverpool. To Hull and back threatened to be a difficult journey for Chelsea, but after Paul Elliott's header on, Vinnie Jones made the passage a little smoother. Chelsea wrapped up their win in the second half. As they surged forward, Clive Allen and Graham Stewart combined for Dennis Wise to steer in the second goal. Manchester City had lost to Middlesbrough in the Rumbelows. The embarrassment was about to be compounded.
Poynton's cross. Oh, here's Niall Quinn and Peter Reid. The player-manager has given his side the lead and shows again that if midfield players will get into the penalty area, there's always a chance that you might get a goal. Really good backing up there of the attack by Peter Reid, but Niall Quinn, with his height, again, gave Middlesbrough a problem they couldn't handle. The ball comes over Kernigan, Quinn brings it down, and Reid just waits for the defender to slip. Kernigan's there. Oh, it's an equaliser. It's Kernigan. And Borough have done it. It's the skipper. Well, corners always look to be their best chance. And and with about 11 minutes to go, Jimmy Phillips curls it into the near post with his left foot, and Kernigan got there first and makes it 1-1. Forward by Pollock, and can Payton do it now for Middlesbrough? Oh, Wilkinson, it's there! They've done it again! It's Paul Wilkinson, 2 in a minute! Unbelievable stuff! They turned this cup tie round on its head, and they're delighted. Ayresome Park goes mad. You wouldn't have believed it possible a couple of minutes ago. But now Middlesbrough, the second division side, lead 2-1, and Payton, number 12, did the chasing, got the better of Keith Curle, whose header put the ball into Wilkinson's path, and with the outside of his right foot, he makes it 2-1.
Glenn Hoddle had Swindon playing some attractive football, and it showed against Watford. Davy Mitchell with the header. But that seasoned campaigner at Watford, Luther Blissett, still has a few goals left in him, quite spectacular ones at that. Hoddle's old teammate at Spurs, Mickey Hazard, was the key to another Swindon goal. His run up the middle, and Duncan Shearer's part was straightforward. Another veteran, Kevin Bond, was also in scoring mood.
Brooks. Kevin Bond! Oh, Kevin Bond, and didn't he take it absolutely brilliantly? Well, that was a veteran player, that was a man of 34. He could have swung at that and hit it anywhere. He didn't, he controlled it, he put in a little shimmy, and Kevin Bond has made it 2 apiece.
Brighton and Crawley battled it out to see which was the best team in Sussex. Sadly for the non-leaguers, it wasn't much of a contest. Mark Gall opened the scoring. And Ian Chapman's drive made the victory more emphatic. Julian Dix put West Ham in front against Farnborough, but the Hampshire side was still proving a handful. And the part-timers' luck ran out in the replay.
Morley. McAvenny, Brown, Breaker in support. This is Brown. Didn't know what to do. Gave the responsibility to Breaker. Keeper's going for it and has clawed it down, and it's been put in by Morley. 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining, and Trevor Morley, the top scorer last season, capitalises on what really I think was a bit of misfortune rather than anything else. Keeper had pulled it down, Morley got the loose ball and has saved West Ham skins.
West Ham's lodgers, Charlton, were making the most of the old adage, goals pay the rent. Robert Lee setting up Carl Leaburn. And Lee danced through the Barnet defence to create another goal, this time for substitute Kim Grant. It does appear, though, that Grant took the fancy footwork as a cue for some of his own. No such thing as the brain drain at Hereford. Simon Brain on the score sheet again, on this occasion to end Woking's Cup run. Kettering took a bit of a bashing at Blackburn. David Speedy with the first. And Gordon Cowans didn't want to be left out. Mike Newell completing the target practice. Poor Crewe proved no match for Liverpool, but the Anfield side's goals were a lesson in finishing.
Oh, look at the space here to be exploited. McManaman! Well, that's an early blow for Crewe. Steve McManaman's 6th goal of the season, and the marking really had all fallen apart. Where were the defenders? It was just too easy, wasn't it? Callahan, who tried to get across and block him, but there was so much space for Liverpool to exploit. Right, off the goal line by number 11, Rob Edwards. 2-0. John Barnes gets the goal, the second for Liverpool in his comeback match. It's drilled in here by Saunders. A low, fantastic little flick by John Barnes. And that's the quality that's been missing. It was a good clearing header from under the post there by Edwards to start with. Saunders drilled it back. And what a fabulous little back heel by John Barnes to make it 2-0. 26 minutes gone. Jones. Now Molby wants it. They all want it now. Barnes. Still Barnes. To McManaman. Barnes, 3-0. His second in the space of 2 minutes, and I'm afraid from Crewe's point of view the match is as good as already over. Liverpool's superiority emphatically underlined, and just look how well he took that.
The 4th round, and Wrexham tried their luck against another First Division side and were out to succeed where Farnborough failed.
Dix! Should have been marked. It was a free header. And that maybe will relieve the pressure a little bit. Dick's 4th goal of the season. But where was the man who was supposed to mark him? It's a blow for Wrexham, having seen their keeper make a wonderful save to concede the corner. They've got a goal down. Poor kick. Davis. This is Thackeray up from the back again. Phillips. Oh, fabulous strike! Wayne Phillips, and Wrexham have done it again. Well, they dumped Arsenal out in what was heralded as one of the greatest FA Cup shocks of all time. And they've taken the game to West Ham in the second half. Maybe a fortunate rebound, but didn't Phillips do well? How did he get his foot on that? 16 minutes gone in the second half. It's 1-1. In fact, it came off the back of his own player. But he lashed it in. O'Keefe came and he lost it. Morley claims it. Morley's 5th of the season. Maybe O'Keefe committed himself here. He comes off his line and he doesn't get a fist on it, and there's nobody back on the goal line to make a save. Finally dispossessed. It's Graham Owen. Gareth Owen, rather. Oh, that's over the top for the youngster Lee Jones. Is he going to be the hero? He is! He scored! The man who's just come on as a substitute. 18 years of age, and it's 2-2. Lee Jones has got the equaliser 5 minutes after coming on as a substitute. He was always outstripping Tim Breaker. He's got much more youth in his legs. He put it under the dive of Miklosko. What a turnaround. And what a fantastic FA Cup campaign Wrexham are enjoying.
A return to the racecourse ground, but West Ham weren't going to suffer the same indignity as Arsenal.
Again, Mitchell Thomas is prominent, so too is Foster. That's Foster! And he's there, the big man, Colin Foster.
Teenager Darren Anderton was turning out to be quite a discovery for Portsmouth manager Jim Smith. What about this for finishing? And you know, he could shoot just as well with his right boot, as Leyton Orient found out to their cost. Stuart Pearce continued to show that although he's a fullback, he's quite at home in the opposition's penalty area. This time, Hereford made the mistake of leaving him free. Leicester's run soon ended. After beating Crystal Palace, they lost at home to Bristol City.
Oh, look at this, it's Jakanowski and there's nobody there for Leicester. And it's Junior Bent with a chance. He's come inside his defender, and it's a goal to Bristol City. And Junior Bent puts them ahead, made by Jakanowski, and superbly well taken. Jakanowski played another good ball there to Andy May. And that's looking for Bent, and he is so quick you'd almost back him to get that. Support coming up behind him from Gavin. The two strikers waiting in the middle for Bristol City. Jakanowski, it's 2! It's 2-0! And they can't control this man. He's having a match all of his own, the Pole. And Leicester are struggling. They've no idea how to cope with him. And a wonderful ball out of defence, which Junior Bent made here, is only because of his pace. Knocked it back to Gavin, and here comes the cross. And quite where the marking is here, I'm not quite sure, but I know where Jakanowski is. Mills, Oldfield. And Mills goes again. Kitson! They wouldn't stop him then. Good header, good goal by Leicester.
Marvellous juggling skills from Chris Kiwambia as Ipswich go through against Bournemouth. Swindon played Cambridge at their own game, Route 1 paying off this time for Duncan Shearer. At Anfield, Bristol Rovers were stunning the Mersey faithful.
Here's Rees to Pounder. Mihu. Pounder again. That's White. It was nearly to Mihu. It's to Carl Saunders, in fact. Good volley. Oh, yes! What a start for second division Bristol Rovers. And it's Carl Saunders again. And their supporters thrilled to bits. What a strike. This is a smashing finish. Waiting for the ball to bounce. Right foot volley. Grobbelaar got his hands to it perhaps, but it was right up in the top locker. This is McManaman. Now he's opening up a little bit here. McManaman shot! Oh, didn't he open them up? Beautifully struck. And the Kop now voice their relief. And Steve McManaman hits a goal that in its way was every bit as good as Carl Saunders. He comes across Rees, left foot, going away from the keeper, right in the corner. There's Carl Saunders, this is White. Devin White, shot struck Mark Wright and it fell nicely for Liverpool. McManaman rushed to his left, Saunders further over. Can he take him on the inside? He does. Still McManaman, great run. It's Saunders. And this time the finish is short. And Dean Saunders, with his 20th goal of the season, beats Brian Parkin.
Some great goals at Carrow Road as Norwich tried to tame the Lions of Millwall. Mark Bowen's drive whistling through the gap. And the Scottish international Robert Fleck made sure of the win when he barged his way through for the second. There was still time for a consolation for Millwall's Paul Kerr, with a shot that left keeper Mark Walton rooted to the spot. David Hurst of Sheffield Wednesday displayed the sort of form that brought him to the attention of England manager Graham Taylor. At Stamford Bridge, Chelsea got more mileage out of their bargain buy Clive Allen. He scored his 6th goal in 5 games after a move from Manchester City worth $250,000, and that was enough to beat Everton. His reactions were almost as sharp as Kerry Dixon's, trying to get out of the way. And there was a cracker of a match at Derby.
Tremendous entertainment, and this is chalk. Well robbed by Small. And away comes Parker. York on a run. Parker goes alone. It's a goal! And what a time to score your first goal for your new club. Gary Parker. He cost £650,000 from Nottingham Forest in November. And he scored his first goal, and what a way to do it. Tremendous shot. Shilton absolutely nowhere, in off the bar. Chalk. Williams! What a goal! Paul Williams! What a fantastic goal! 4-3 to Villa, and Derby really back in it. It was Martin Chalk's cross, and look at this for a volley. Superb! Seeley, not a chance.
On to the fifth round, and West Ham gave their fans value for money when they entertained Sunderland, even if they did fail to heed the warnings about John Byrne.
Oh, that's a bad pass. Byrne will get to this. Oh, he's in! What a start for Sunderland. Rogan missed it. Covered by Ball. Davenport. Oh, took it well, Davenport. And here comes Byrne again. He's covered by Dix, is he? He's a real awkward player, John Byrne. He's made it 2. It's 2-0 Sunderland. Martin Allen. And suddenly West Ham supporters find a little bit to get excited about. Still Allen. Oh, what a goal. Martin Allen has smashed in a cracker. Sunderland have got everybody back. That is Allen who hits it. Oh, it's in! It's Martin Allen's night. Burns flick on to Rush, who's got it out to young Kieran Brady. Faced by Julian Dix. Left foot cross, Burned, Rush! 3-2 Sunderland, David Rush.
Bristol City were the next team to let Stuart Pearce roam into the area, and they paid the price. Cloughie's dream stayed alive. Norwich marched on past Notts County without much trouble. Chris Sutton's finish both dramatic and effective. Bolton were the third division's last hope.
That was miscued by Ruddock. This is Green. We'll get it back to Philliskirk. Here he is, there's 2 to look for. Walker! Yes! It's given! Spooner. Good spell again, this by Bolton. That's a good ball to Reeves. A great cross! A fabulous header by Scott Green!
Patterson. And again, good tackle by Hurlock. And that's released Shearer. Felgate changed his mind. Shearer opens the scoring. At the other end, Flowers in trouble. And that's very well placed. Kame has taken the position on the near edge of the 6-yard area. Behind him is Walker. Further over is Philliskirk. And Ruddock. Oh, and a cracking shot from Julian Derby. Team that beat Manchester United. Is there one hope left? Oh, there is! Barry Horn. Tremendous swerve on the ball. What a shot. Just look at it. It goes left, comes back right from our viewpoint. And the pace of it beats David Felgate. Ball has arrived there. Moody's now come wide of the 6-yard area, and up comes Ruddock looking for the back flick. But he hasn't got any of those right. Horn, the crowd encouraging him to have another go, and he does!
And this late equaliser from Alan Kernaghan made sure Middlesbrough grabbed a replay against Portsmouth. But the mixture of youth and experience undid them. 19-year-old Darren Anderton teaming up with Colin Clark. Paul Wilkinson plunged himself into the Portsmouth 6-yard box to keep Borough in touch. But it was the Anderton-Clark combination that once again produced the goods and earned Pompey a quarter-final place. At Swindon, it was a case of do the Dwight thing.
Good run by Dwight York, and he scored out of nothing. It's York, and Regis, if he makes ground on the far side, could have an open run here, but it's still York, and still Dwight York, and he lost his balance. This is Parker, and now it's Froggatt, and there's the shot, and what a goal!
The blades were blunted at Chelsea.
Where's to Allen, Townsend, Stewart. And it's Graham Stewart with a great run for Chelsea, and he scores! And they've got the goal they deserve, and how well this lad made it. He cut inside two opponents and slid it underneath the keeper.
Liverpool had come away from Second Division Ipswich with a hard-earned draw. Now they were back at their Anfield fortress.
Mark Wright, Walters. In it goes again. It's going to come to Ray Houghton. And what a good time it was to score. Walk has got Ipswich on their way again. This is Whitton. Whipped in. Johnson! It's the equaliser. Gavin Johnson. This is Jason Dazelle. Mickey Stockwell. Dazzelle's through the middle. Good ball. Jason Dazelle on here for Ipswich. Grobbelaar saves Dazelle. It's 2-1. Would you believe it? They're in front. It's Mulby. Oh, a belter. An absolute belter from Jan Mulby. It's 2-2. What a match. McManaman. Rosenthal. McManaman. And they're in front. 3-2 Liverpool. Fabulous comeback. It's 2 goals in 2 minutes. And McManaman this time produces the magic.
There were memories of the Portsmouth heyday of the 50s when they took on Nottingham Forest, but what they needed was an early break.
And Powell coming in at the back. Oh, and he dropped it, the goalkeeper, and that's an absolute gift. Crossley had the ball in his hands, and within 2 minutes, the lead is taken. A goalkeeper is in despair.
Sunderland were working hard. It was Chelsea next.
Wise takes Allen right on the line. Up comes Elliott. Townsend. And blocked on the line, and then in by Clive Allen. Search for the equaliser goes on. But they're not finding the openings that they were finding earlier in the half. Bracewell, now they might. Byrne! Yes! They look now at the linesman, and Mr. Holbrook goes off to tell Byrne to come back on the pitch. But John Byrne has done it again.
Sinclair turned back and showed a lot of the ball, and that sets up Rush. Good pass, Byrne. Davenport peeling away to the left. Rush coming in support. Byrne going all the way, and it is now 1-0, and there will be nothing wrong with that one from Peter Davenport. Just under 5 minutes remaining. Davenport's goal, but Wise with the equaliser. And Tony Norman's agony is apparent. Dennis Wise approaches his 11th goal of the season. Brian Atkinson, the outswinger this time. And a good header, and a great header to make it 2-1, and Sunderland have struck back again.
With John Barnes back for Liverpool, Villa were in for the treatment.
Michael Thomas. Great chance again, and this time Thomas scores. It was made by Barnes, and Thomas puts it away so cleanly.
And first blood to Southampton in their quarter-final.
Ruddock! It's in! Southampton have taken the lead, and they all go to Neil Ruddock, who came in at the near post. Woodthorpe. Swing across towards Butterworth. Cockrell clears, only as far as John Colston. Back in towards Sutton. Good header down. Newman! Great goal! Great goal! Rob Newman. Beautifully taken by the number 9. Locked it in by John Colston from the back. Chris Sutton, a good header inside. But look at that on the volley from Rob Newman. A beauty. Goss. They've got 2 to his left. This is Bowen. Beckford. Goss! Oh, and the header by Sutton. It's gone in! It's there! Norwich City! Sutton!
Portsmouth had surprised everyone by getting as far as the semis, and facing Liverpool would surely be the final straw. But maybe young Anderton might just be their key to reaching Wembley.
Warren Neal. Oh, that's a good-looking ball. It's Anderton. A real chance for Pompey. Darren Anderton. It's there. Portsmouth are in the lead of the semi-final, and it's the 20-year-old prospect Darren Anderton who goes through the middle to score. Barnes is the man here who they'll be frightened of. It's 1-1. Ronnie Whelan. Alan Knight couldn't quite get to it, and it rolled back along the goal line. And Liverpool have equalised.
At Hillsborough, it was that man again. When Sunderland were playing, one name was bound to be on the score sheet.
And it was Rogan's head. This is 1 against 1 for a moment. No support. Now it's arriving. Bracewell and Rush. And Atkinson and Davenport far side. Positive run by Rush. This is Atkinson. And this is Byrne. He's done it again, Byrne. Scored in every round so far. And that really was a very, very well-made goal. At the start, he was on his own. But he got a lot of support coming through. Lovely ball by Rush. The linesman looked, Atkinson got his cross in, and Byrne scores with his head, which he says he doesn't do too often.
So to the final, Liverpool against Sunderland, and one of the greatest goals ever to grace the Wembley showpiece.
Bowlby. Knocked out wide to McManaman, who is indeed starting on the right-hand side this time. Takes on Atkinson. Gets past him. And flips it into Michael Thomas. Thomas's shot! Oh, that's a fine goal! Graham Souness looks on in admiration. And in the second minute of the second half, Liverpool have taken the lead in the cup final, and McManaman, who Trevor Brookings said would do more damage on the right than on the left, got the ball in, and Michael Thomas swung his right foot, and that goes down as one of the best cup final goals. Beautifully delivered, and what about this? Here's Houghton. Saunders. Thomas through the middle again. Michael Thomas. Rush. 2-0 Liverpool. So simple. And vintage Ian Rush. And there's nobody that loves the Wembley scene better than Ian Rush.
Saunders again involved. Unselfish play from Thomas, and there Ian Rush either side to choose from, tucked it away. Saunders running at the defence. Michael Thomas, another of those surging runs, could have been selfish. Saw rush there, a typical Liverpool move.
Liverpool invincible in their centenary year.